Like and subscribe right now, or this will be in your bed tonight. I have two different guys that I'll never forget. The first was one that wanted my feet to be filthy, dirty and stinky if possible. Then I had to smash one foot in his face and get him off with the other foot. The other guy wouldn't let me turn on any lights at all, and when I got undressed I touched him and found his one ball was the size of a pillow. It freaked me out so bad I told him I started my period and needed to leave pronto. There's many more, but these two guys always stand out. Was a stripper. Had a guy come in and lay on the floor and pay me to try to fart on his face. He was dressed like Carlton on Bobbin Street. Honestly, a lot of girls like ones like this too. They pay really well, and you don't have to really do any work. I'm not a sex worker, but I did run a bar opposite one of Edinburgh's infamous saunas. Sort of legal brothel the police turned a blind eye to. Anyway, the girls used to come into my bar once their shift was over for a well-earned drink, and so I got to know some of them pretty well. Inevitably conversation would turn to their clients' kinks. Two spring to mind. The high court judge who came in to be spanked and be told he needed to be punished. Not that exciting, but the one I can never forget was the peanut butter man. He would come in the day before with a massive bag of peanuts for his favorite girl and book an appointment the next day where the girl would shit on him and he would smear it all over himself saying I'm the peanut butter man over and over. I could never get that image out of my mind. Cam General here. I've seen far too many guys during C2C session get shit absolutely everywhere. Literal shit. That type of play is never on the menu, and I end the shows immediately when it happens. It always starts with want to see me use a toy and it's like they've never researched how to clean there for proper play. The worst one was when I was on a site where you couldn't end the private show or else you wouldn't get paid a cent for it. He starts plowing away and it's just flying everywhere. I stop what I'm doing and try to hide how hard I'm gagging as he starts apologizing and crying. I'm an exotic dancer. At the club I work at had shower shows. It is a big open shower with neon paint. The guys sit in the row chairs in front of it. My one regular always have me do a shower shows. When he came in, instead of me acting sexy, I feed him dog treats while shaving my legs. When I called him a bad boy he'd crawl underneath the chair acting like a bad dog. Our Uber was chatting with us while driving us in Vegas and said he kind of knew when he was picking up an escort or working girl. One night he picks up a girl who looks visibly sick. He thought she was just drunk or high, but she explained some guy requested her to his room and gave her a bag of cash with $10,000. The catch was he had one of those silver food platters on a table in front of him, and he had shit on it. She had to watch him eat it with a fork and knife like it was some kind of filet mignon. Got booked for 3 hours in a hotel. Guy seemed normal until he took off his shirt. He was the hairiest guy I had ever seen, except for two shaved patches around his nipples. All he wanted me to do was lick his nipples. I work as a dominatrix and specialize in anal play, especially for newbies. Now I'm used to small amounts of poop and some honestly gut-wrenching ass smells. Wash your ass, guys. Even if someone else isn't going to be playing with it, it comes with the but fucking terrority, and either way I wear fisting gloves or PCV ones to protect my hands, so it's easy to clean up. But about 2 weeks ago something horrifying happened. A new client comes to see me, wants to do anal and some edging, says he has done it before etc, but I still give the normal warnings, douche/shower, and don't eat 2 hours before we meet. So he gets undressed, we start the session, and he lays down on my sofa. No smell. I'm having a good week with dudes actually listening to my anal advice, so I go in with some confidence that it's all going to be good. Have my probe anal toy ready to go, put all the lube on, and enter this dude's ass, and to my horror, with just the tiny tip, this dude's asshole is covered in shit. I mean covered. I have a strong stomach but fuck, this dude had come from work with an asshole covered in shit. How does that even happen? So I say quietly, oh, your ass is already messy. This guy tries to act like the mother the son of having a clean ass after I call him out. But does he want to have a shower and clean it when I offer? Nope. This dude gets up, puts his underwear and suit on, and walks out like nothing happened. I couldn't believe this guy. I disinfected my whole living room afterwards. Thank God I have a porn couch that wipes clean. Ex-cam girl here. Had a customer who wanted to watch me throw up, and he got off to it. It soon escalated into throwing up for 5 to 10 minutes straight, or wearing a white shirt and throwing up on myself. So it shows though. It's crazy what some of us will do for money. Glad I'm not that person anymore. Stripper here. Guy would come in and could smell if a girl was on her cycle. He liked that. $100 for your used tampon. Can you guess what he did with them? Made tea. Seriously, he soaked the used tampon of a stranger in hot water and drank it. No dances purchased, just the tampon. Not a sex worker, but a friend of mine who has been a cam girl for the last 12 years told me about how she had a regular client who had a cannibalism fetish. She would cover her bed in a plastic sheet and get a few loaves of bread and make her legs into a giant sandwich, like a bottles of condiments and lettuce and all. Basically pretend to eat them and get off at the same time. She said he was her favorite client because it was weird and easy and harmless. My uncle owned a brothel in Holland in the 80s. One particular lady employed with him had a client that was madly in love, obsessed with her. He would see her every day and declare his love to her an hour at a time. One day he came by and said that he loved her so much that he would do anything for her, and to prove it, he said he would eat her shit off a dinner plate. She went and told my uncle about this client in the other room. His reaction was, "What's the problem? Let him eat off the plate." The problem is she didn't need to shit. So my uncle took the plate, laid a 12 coil steamer on it, and she took it to her admirer and he delicately ate it with a knife and fork. I'm no longer an active sex worker, but I was when I was 16. And if that shocks you, sorry I had to be the one to show you what a tiny bit of the real world looks like. And somebody brought me into their car, which was normal. It was a minivan, and he had all the back seats put down, nothing shocking yet. Then he told me to lay down on my back and said he was gonna shit on me. I was like, nope, and I decided to bail, which is a very intense choice to make if you're working for somebody, because they will cut the hell out of your pay for it. And he, who was twice as big as me, beat the hell out of me. But he knew he couldn't chase me when I got out, because after getting out of the back alley we would be in public. That was one of the worst days of my life, but I still managed to hide that any of that summer happened, so I guess I got off a bit easy. Had a guy eat shit from his ex-wife, stored in containers in front of me. Freaked me out. I left, he chased me out the door asking for me to fill some containers for him. When I was working as a cam girl, a random person kept donating tons of tokens. They eventually bought my private Snapchat. They would send me the typical horny message asking for nudes. What had me completely horrified was when they sent me a video of them smashing their testicles with a hammer. The sound of them in pleasure/pain will haunt my nightmares forever. Work on cam customer paid me to watch him stick things up his ass. It was going good. He did balls, a spoon, lotion bottle, normal things I could handle. Then 20 minutes into it, he says, if you watch me put this chick in my ass I'll pay you a little. Like, sure, I'm thinking chicken breast. He give me the funds. He brings in this live chicken in a cage. My eyes get so big, he smiles so big. He takes the chicken by the neck and shoves it up his ass. I promise all you can see is this chicken's body moving around and him looking back at the cam at me, smiling and tipping me. I see the chicken start to poop. This is happening in like 3 minutes, mind you. I could hold it and I throw up live on my cam. My fans are asking what's wrong. They're looking at me. They don't know I'm viewing this guy's cam. I'll let my stomach out. The guy who paid me to stomp and kick him in the balls repeatedly for an hour is probably the strangest. He was crying and heaving while thanking me over and over. It was so weird. My classic gross story was a guy who worked at the deli counter at the local supermarket. He was a regular and wanted a golden shower. I was actually a water sports virgin at the time, but he eventually talked me into it. So we go to my shower, and he gets on his knees and opens his mouth, and I piss all over him, in his mouth, everything. Then I turn on the shower. This is the gross part. He turns it off, says he doesn't want a shower, gets dressed and then goes off to work at the deli. I've been stripping for about 3 months now. I had a customer ask me to pour water down my back so he could lay beneath me and catch the water that dripped off my thong, because supposedly he's never seen an ass as amazing as mine. This was 5 hours into my shift. Afterwards I asked if he actually enjoyed it, and he says he did. So I was a male stripper predominantly for bachelorette parties, but about 3 times a month I'd work the actual club to make ends meet. I was 18 and finishing up high school. One night I'm there, and the manager says there's a guy willing to pay $2K for 2 hours with me. It's a straight club, but half the dancers are gay, and eat that stuff up, plus with a no touching rule. It's whatever. His only stipulation was that we not turn the lights on. He didn't want to be seen. This was the early 2000s and closet cases were more reserved then. That said, I go into dance. I dance for about 20 minutes and he says something that makes my skin crawl. Tell me you're only 15. I was disgusted, but this was money I needed. I'm not proud, but I said it, though I couldn't get over the familiarity in his voice. He continued on with stuff like that, having me say I was 15 over and over, having me say I was running late for English class, etc. He just wanted me to pretend I was a little younger than I was. Then he said it. Call me Coach Bellum. Coach Bellum was my 9th grade football coach and a fervent creep who wandered into the boys and girls showers during use a few too many times and got fired the year after I had him as a coach. I went to beeline for the door as soon as he said it. There's no way he didn't recognize me after all. He picked me because he knew 14 to 15-year-old me. When I clearly got up to move, he grabbed me around my waist and just licked my stomach and said, "I can give you all the money you need. Let me have this." I broke his nose, got out, and got the bouncers in there. To my knowledge, he was the first and only person we ever banned from returning there. Apparently we didn't need to though, as he got jailed just a couple months later for molestation of a family member. He was grimy. Thanks for watching. Greaseball, like and comment. Subscribe. I love you.